नासि बुद्धि अयुक्तस्य नाचायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभवतः शांति अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम. One is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Now this is a very important shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Many times people ask, what is the formula for happiness? And today people feel that happiness is nothing. Some kind of chemical is put into my body, some tablet, I become happy. They have this proposal, stress busters, a lot of medication is there. And not only these medications fail to make anybody happy because it's not some chemical or happiness. They have a lot of side effects. Damage sometimes, hair. Nobody knows. These molecules going inside body where all there are billions of reactions going in trillions of cells. And And some activities are going individually, some activities are going in a combined way. We don't know what it does, where it combines. And there are known, damages, and many times these medicines are banned also because of that. So the world, even though there is so much effort today, they call it, sometimes people wonder, why did a personality like Vedavyasa, so intelligent he is, why he could not make iPhone? Somebody may question, we say Vedavyasa was the most intelligent person to visit her. So if people will question why he cannot make a phone or a TV or something or a rocket or a satellite. Sir, he knew. It's not that he doesn't know how to make it. He is Trikalagna. He knows everything. He knows all the technologies, past, present, future. Everything he knows. He knows these things you will only harm yourself. Not that these things are as such bad. Nothing is bad. Bad is the way you use anything. Finally, everything is energy of Krishna. In that sense, nothing is bad. Everything is good when it is dovetailed for Krishna's service. But he knows people have no maturity to do that. So therefore, number one. Number two, he knows so much time and energy will be spent in making these items. And our life, I was just seeing a photograph of a hut in the middle of mountains. It looks so nice. Today what happens, we live in a city, cramped up city. But those who have money, they at least on the weekends they like to stay in a rest house. And those who are still richer, they never come to the city. They stay in their guest house near waterfall and near mountain, in the bungalow with huge garden. They stay with the nature, and that is how the people life is actually. They feel so peaceful. But artificially today we live in a congested cities. And we put so much energy, completely sap out all our energy in trying to squeeze out happiness through material means. It doesn't work out. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says something in this shloka. It is said, unless somebody is in Krishna consciousness, there is no question of him having a steady intelligence or a controlled mind. It is not possible. And where there is a question of peace, and mind is agitated, intelligence is not steady. So Prabhupada says in the purport a very important point, unless the mind is the ultimate goal, there is no question of mind being peaceful. And mind is searching for the ultimate goal. In Bhagavad Gita, another point Prabhupada quotes from the shloka. Bhokta Ram, that is the last shloka of the 5th chapter. Bhokta Ram Yagna Tapasam. Krishna is the only enjoyer. If you accept that, you will be very happy and peaceful. Because there can be no happiness without peace. Peace and happiness go together. Transcendental peace is also transcendental happiness. So, we think I am the enjoyer. That is what people are doing today. See, everybody finally wants happiness. He doesn't want anything else. You close school for one day. All the children will jump, correct? They will be so happy. Tomorrow you tell them, 1 month, in our time, remember something happened, some big people died. There was, the prime minister died and all that. 1 week leave. And if you forget about that, what the cause, children are so happy. 1 week, 15 days leave, they're jumping around. So point is that knowledge means it should give me happiness. That proves there is no knowledge, real knowledge being given to them. See, everything has to be natural. How much you can, children don't want to go to school, but a fear is created. Beta, if you don't go, how will you eat? But the point is, the knowledge that is given doesn't make you happy. Therefore, nobody is interested in it. Correct? Jnana means it should make me happy. That is real jnana. And that is the nature of Adhyatmic Jnana. If you get that, you become happy. I was just reading today, the devotees, when Srila Prabhupada landed in America, they were so happy to see him. When they came close to Prabhupada and started serving Prabhupada, listening from him and trying to understand the real jnana, we felt so elegant. And when Prabhupada health broke down and he said, okay, I'll come back to India for some time and I'll come back, natural way. Recently, big joke. I was with some doctors and they were telling me that there is nowadays vitamin D deficiency of people, even in India. I said, in India there is so much sunlight. Who comes to sunlight now? They are sitting all the time inside AC. These are strange things are happening. Unbelievable. So Prabhupada, very natural health. When he was not well, he said, let me be. Once he was said, let me be on the seashore. Prabhupada said, yes, this is very healthy. And he said, my Guru Maharaj also stayed on the seashore towards his last part of life when he was not well. That was in Jagannath Puri. And then still his health, Prabhupada was trying to recover his health for old age. Prabhupada said, I'll go to India and come back. I'm not able to. I'll come back from there. And the devotee was so much crying. I don't know him. He is not their father or any relative. Today people don't even cry when father goes somewhere. Correct? So much they cried that as if, it's like somebody will think how much the attachment has to be for that. And Prabhupada, when they came back, they were unimaginably happy to see him come back. Why? Because he gave them real knowledge. And they left everything. They left their families, everything, to be with Prabhupada because they were getting real happiness there. How he was giving them real happiness? He was not just, you see most of the pictures, Prabhupada is so great and devotees are like bursting in happiness. Because Prabhupada is giving them spiritual knowledge, which makes a person really happy. Not that, laughter, foolish laughter, and you look at each other's faces. Sometimes Kirtan time also people do the matter. Look at each other's faces and laugh. That is nonsense. Any person can make other person giggle like that. Spiritual happiness is something different. It cannot be cheap, and it should not be made into cheap. Prabhupada doesn't do that. It doesn't come in front of somebody's face and hey, no, you smile. Nothing cheap stuff like that. It's very sober. Was so grave actually. Many instances. Always he was so grave. But what he gave them. It's not that morning to evening Prabhupada, smile. Please smile, make other person smile. People have all this nonsense stuff. Because they don't know. The vacuum is there in the heart. Because there is no spiritual knowledge. And by these patches of smiling at each other, you cannot solve that vacuum. You want to make other person happy, first you understand now that why is he unhappy? And then look at yourself first. Janma Siddhi, Janma Sarthakari, Karo Paropkar. First you save yourself, then you can save the world. So therefore, the formula has been given in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has so kindly come to this world and given. This is the formula, sir, if you want to become really happy. What is that? Bhokta Ram Yajna Tapasam. The only enjoyer is Krishna. And why we are unhappy here? Because we are artificially trying to be the enjoyer. Looking at a sense object, and I can enjoy somehow. You'll be unhappy, sir. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yehi samsparshaya bhoga dukkha yonavevate. If you can't see that, you will see that very soon. So all will give you a lot of pain. Because any enjoyment means entanglement will start off. You get entangled in that. Adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate padaha. And these pleasures have a beginning and have an end. And no sober person delights in these pleasures. So that is what the standard is given. Now if I can follow this standard, Bhokta Ram Eknata, then there is a chance for mind to do this. Understand Krishna is the only enjoyer. The next, understand Sarvaloka Maheshwara. Krishna is the only owner, proprietor. I think I am proprietor of anything now. It's my duty to take care. This thing is in my possession now. It's duty to take care. I'm using it for service to Krishna. But even in the best case, suppose it gets spoiled, there is nothing to now break our head over what can be done. Prabhupada gives an example. So many times it happens that the devotees are absorbed in Krishna's service, in the mood, I'll come to that example later. So in the mood that Krishna is only enjoy, so they're very happy. Then they become very happy understanding Krishna is the only proprietor, I am not the proprietor, everything belongs to Krishna. And then Krishna is the best friend of every living entity. The people who show, I get so much happiness. Some orphan I go, I give food. Krishna is the best well-wisher. Who are you? So small. Why you want to artificially take the role of Krishna? True, as far as possible, we can give them some prasadam or we can, but not that too much you get lost. You should not get lost. Prabhupada was gone in America. So some devotee somehow, that's in the quite early part of the movement. So he could get hold of maybe some friend's car or something. And he used to take Prabhupada to the city to show something in the city. And Prabhupada was just trying to understand the American country and their, So Prabhupada went with them and then he took him to a huge church. So Prabhupada said, yes, huge. Prabhupada, this is how Narayana is worshipped, all opulence. Because any place is a place of worship of the Lord. He was seeing in that way. But then they took one room where there was some priest and all the, healing he had done. Some life-size, sculptures made. Somebody was sick and he healed him. Somebody was having this problem, he healed him. So Prabhupada said, this is material. Why are they glorifying all these things? What is there to glorify this? Immediately, separated truth and matter immediately. We have to heal the soul. Why are we getting lost about healing the body? Correct? It's material. What is the spiritual about? The doctor does every day 1,000 times. Correct? So people do not know what is real happiness. Real happiness comes. It's not that devotee doesn't feel. Even in the worst of the insects or anything, Prabhupada always say, chant Hare Krishna. So you never had any kind of, it's not that devotee doesn't feel sad. Devotee tries to make every living entity comfortable, not that they suffer. But he knows clearly that a real suffering is happening for every living entity. It is because of forgetfulness of Krishna. He knows it. He is convinced of it. And therefore he works in that direction. I can make him happy primarily because if I can give him Krishna consciousness. It's like somebody is starving. And if you give him food, he will be happy. Other things are there, secondary. So similarly, the whole society is only focused on the external things. So why you have to focus there? That anyway everybody is doing. So as devotees, because you have very little energy, you focus it on giving person spiritual happiness. Correct? You have to spiritually heal the people. Not hair pain in there, leg is there, no. The real problem is in the heart. The heart is not agreeing to serve Krishna. The heart is not agreeing. The person is still avoiding, is stubborn. He is not agreeing to take up the fortune to serve Krishna. There the problem is. There is no other problem which we are artificially creating. So in this way we can understand that real happiness comes when person accepts this formula from Bhagavad Gita, the foundation. Bhoktanam yajnadosam sarvaloka mahesharam suhridam sarvabhutana gyatavan shantim prechyati. Shanti comes when person accepts the three foundations. Then the next stage, if you go to the next stage, there is something more to understand. Here Prabhupada is saying is that when a mind is fixed upon an ultimate goal, because not that you just understand this, you have to act on this. And then what happens once we act on it? We understand this fact that Krishna is the only enjoyer and all. Then this is just understanding the situation. Correct? When you understand this, you start acting and working for Krishna's pleasure. Instead of satisfying our own temporary material senses, we should try to satisfy senses of Krishna. This is what Prabhupada says in the preface, as the essence of the Bhagavad Gita in one line. Instead of satisfying your senses, try to satisfy senses of Krishna. Really happy. This is the happiness formula. This is the happiness formula. And there can be no gymnastic which will work. And spiritual life, as we discussed in the morning also, is joyful, just like a train going. Every day new stop is there. So when you progress in spiritual life, more and more and more and more and more you become happy. And the material education, what it is doing actually, it is only making the material world look more comfortable and attractive for people. And people make more and more plans to become comfortable and have material amenities and keep working whole life for that. And neither the process, neither the ultimate end make a person happy. The process is not happy because what is touching is jada, knowledge of the jada vastu, which is not happy, which is boring, dead boring. When you are discussing dead subject, the knowledge of that is also dead boring. And then after that, what we are doing, whatever we get out of it, we are getting something out of the material objects that we get after studying for so long. We get some money, with that we buy material sense object. They're also dead, so they don't make you happy again. So any way you look, actually, there is just no happiness. So material life, there is just no happiness. Any way you look at it. And people therefore get very frustrated. So the ultimate goal of the mind should be how I can reach Krishna's association. We are all looking for happiness, but happiness originates from Krishna. Just like a spark depends on fire to glitter. It cannot independently glitter. Spark can only glitter when it goes near fire. Therefore, in the same way, we can become happy when we touch Krishna in devotion service. We cannot become happy independently sitting. That is not possible. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogadaya. We are engaged in a devotion service, then we become happy. There are some people who artificially try to be happy in this world, jumping with, their so-called wives or girlfriend. And some people, they think, this doesn't work out. Finally, there is no love in this world. Everybody is actually using each other for his own pleasure. Anyway, this happiness is material. It doesn't satisfy. There is no tripti in this, and it is temporary. So I give it up. And these people are called tyagis. And what do? They try to become happy alone. It is just like dancing alone. That is another form of craziness only. Dancing with girlfriend, dancing alone. Suppose somebody is gone, he is dancing alone. You'll call him mad or what? So what you should do? Dance with Krishna, no? That's what Radharani is doing, dancing with Krishna. You also jump there and dance with Krishna. Real happiness lies there. So the Krishna is the source of all the happiness, and to get that happiness, we have to connect to Krishna. Then real happiness will come. But today, forget about connecting Krishna means you should know Krishna's position. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is the connect to how? In a devotional service as a servant. You are the servant of Krishna. He is the owner, proprietor, enjoyer, our best well-wishing friend. And how can I connect with him? How can I at every moment be engaged? That is called Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness movement. Why? This movement is to get Krishna. What is Krishna consciousness? Akhila Rasa Amrita Sindhu. Krishna is the reservoir of all the happiness, of all the pleasure. You connect with it. Either in whatever relationship, as a servant you connect, and Krishna you share equally. And true, Krishna's happiness you cannot even imagine. But when you enjoy with Krishna, you enjoy equally, you enjoy unlimitedly. The jiva is very small, but desire to enjoy happiness is unlimited. And that only Krishna can get. So therefore, every living entity, there is no shortage. Krishna can connect via limitation. And generally we make 50 friends, 100 friends, then we forget. Nowadays people go to, in the social networking, they have 5,000 friends, 10,000 friends. How do you remember them? It is impossible to remember and relate to everybody. Correct? Is it possible? It is not possible. But Krishna simultaneously remembers and relates to millions of living entities. That is the beauty of Krishna. Trillions of living entities Krishna can remember. And he perfectly reciprocates. Prabhupada says at Vrindavan, everybody was happy. They were so happy with Krishna. Correct? All the time. Every pastime of Krishna in Vrindavan was full with happiness. Yeah. That is how Krishna is. So we should also therefore aspire. If you want to really become happy, become engaged in your constitutional position as a servant of Krishna and join with Krishna in his pleasure dance or pleasure pastimes of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.